Ready?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, so this is the meeting of the Littleton Station Area Committee, and we're here to discuss the slide presentation.
So yeah, we got draft slides from Peter Flinker earlier today.
And did you and Joe go over them?
Joe's not available.
Okay, no, I didn't know if you've gone over this, so you haven't made any modifications to?
Correct.
This is first blush.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So did anybody else have a chance to even look at them yet, or
I
we're starting here?
got you.
Okay.
I literally just opened them myself.
I sent
what?
Mark.
I just opened them myself.
Okay.
I sent Mark a couple of comments about that.
A little after 1 o'clock this afternoon.
All right.
It's a very large file, so sometimes those get deleted.
Well, yeah, I don't use Outlook.com to look at it, so like often the emails don't show up until I go there. But anyway, I'll follow along here.
So
So can I ask a couple questions? So what we're looking at this slide presentation as from the perspective of what we're going to present to the select, right?
It's everybody.
Yeah, and to everybody, but it's very nice for me. Okay. So on the first slide, I think it would be good to have an arrow that shows exactly where it is.
Maybe outline the
Circle.
property.
Yeah.
Outline the whole,
Yeah.
the whole property
Yeah.
line.
Now, we're only talking about the Littleton Station, even though.
Right.
So we'll get into that in a few minutes, but. Okay, so an arrow for this one, okay.
I think you outlined it,
Yeah, outline.
Okay.
kind of like this.
The hashtag, yeah.
So is it up to is it basically below the life care center?
Yeah.
Between the life care
Yeah.
center and the train station, or are we
Yeah.
going on the other side of the train station too?
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, so we use the draw tool.
Okay.
The symbol is,
okay. And if I can't figure that out, I'll do a map off the GIS with the photos.
All right, so the first problem with this one.
Sorry, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't even know what the heck this was. I mean, I do, but is this really how you would want to start off the presentation?
no, I think we need to give a little bit of history and
Yeah.
how we got here and even pulling in the master plan.
So I think when
Subcommittee.
we do the presentation, maybe since Delise is gonna fail,
Sure.
when we can do it, I'll start the history of how we start.
so we start with this one.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of
Master
slide
plan.
10, it can be slide 2.
Okay. Yeah, now slide 2 comes further down, because that's the process we're gonna have to go through. Okay,
So, okay, yeah, so it
started with the master plan, goals and objectives.
and then the next step was we went, we got all the public input, right? Is that up
Vision,
there?
the Station Village Vision Plan.
What's that? So
Put you at risk.
Yeah, thanks. Last of this line, I'm close to the vaccine, and how you gonna get me?
That's what I always get.
Vaccine, yeah. If I, I do it sometime, I don't have to lie about my age until I'm 65, but
Bring on.
everybody knows I'm 65.
So where is the,
so add
Brief history, is whatever you want to call it.
so the
this,
public outreach and survey.
yeah,
How we
Yeah.
got here,
right.
okay?
Okay.
And I would say even on this slide, it's worth adding the same boundaries, just
Yeah, put a little red boundary or hash marks or something like that. Just so people can, because it's confusing image. We've been studying
to
it
try to
all.
orient yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. Okay.
So then, okay, so based on master plan, public input, we then determined what we wanted this area to look like.
Like, I think we should focus on what our goals were for it, based on, like, we could extract the goals from the master plan,
Right.
the station village, and the next thing was like, okay, so given all this information, here's what we tried to do when we put this thing together.
Right,
Affordable alternatives to single-family houses in town.
Yeah, diversity and, right,
Right.
diversity and affordability.
right.
Okay, so drill down into those two bullets a little bit,
Those are overarching principles, guiding principles.
okay?
Do we want to find another word for affordable? Since people are going to think that affordable means projects,
First-time home buyers, workforce
workforce
housing.
housing.
Well, but it's not that
Seniors.
we're also looking at senior housing, it's more diverse
So maybe
housing
can we
options.
list all those instead of saying, I'm just afraid people,
Yeah.
people
More than
just,
just affordable, correct.
yeah, people
Yeah.
just associate it with.
Alternative
Or
housing.
more diverse housing options, like,
Okay. I mean, actually, we probably should say affordable, because there is going to be some capital
A
affordable.
lot of it's gonna be, well, not a lot of it.
but some of it, sometimes it's just affordable because it's smaller, because people want smaller.
It's also apartments too.
Yeah.
Apartments can be more affordable.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
Housing,
great.
housing alternatives to include in some element of affordable housing or affordability.
Right.
You can
That's
wordsmith it.
That's good.
Okay. So we do the background, we do the, meet goals. Or outline of goals.
yeah.
Like when we do the goals, could we list the goals from the master plan that we're trying to achieve with this?
Mhm.
Because if there's a big list of them, it gives it more authority as far as, hey, we're not trying to like shove a bunch of
Right.
apartment buildings in Littleton, we're actually doing what you wanted us to do.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because how often do we hear, that all the planning board wants to do is just build lots of houses, and it's like,
So we didn't want to.
so,
Are you talking about developer or resident? Or if it's in someone's backyard.
right, yeah.
Don't you think the next two slides you go to should be not at the end, but after we've seen the maps and everything else? Let's say better feel for it, this is the process. we have to
Yeah,
go
Yeah,
that's
I
at
don't-
the, yes,
Yeah, I
that's
do.
at the end, so
Okay.
it's, yes,
Well, she's showing it to us now, but it should be. at the
right.
end.
Okay,
This is- yeah, this is
Move
slide
those
two.
to the end.
Yeah.
So wait, I've got it up here. Right, so we've got-
yeah, because these are drilled down into detail that most people don't,
Care about.
residents don't need.
This is
It's-
40 hours specific, really, a lot of it.
Exactly, this is
So maybe,
some of what MAPC is gonna be doing for us now that, and
But the
actually,
select board might want to know,
Mhm.
like, what are the next steps?
so that, we should do that at the end.
Yeah,
We'll
at the end, yeah, I agree.
It'll play into that.
Yeah,
We'll just give them a couple of quick slides and, once this gets past town meeting, this is what's gonna be. Actually, to get one of them, we have to do before town meeting. The DHCD thing.
right, that's the application process and just above there. That one.
We're going as slow as Peter Flinker went.
so,
This
Lauren,
is
if
good
you go
pictures.
down to its slide, what slide is it? Slide number 9, where it has contents. I mean, that almost gives us
Okay, this
an
is,
outline.
right, this is
Yeah.
where, this is
That's
where,
like almost where it should begin.
this is where Peter jumped to, this is the design guidelines.
Yeah, this is the design standards.
Right.
This doesn't help us get to how we got here. This is specific
Right.
to the site, this particular site.
But after we talk about what our goals are,
Mhm.
then it comes to this. So we've got all our guiding principles.
I'm not sure this should be contents. This should be relative to
Once the
the
maps.
40 hour, this particular project that we're trying to do. best. The contents of the presentation is an overview of how we got here, the history.
Yeah.
Goals and objectives. And what we've come to is bite-sized pieces. One project that we feel is the highest and best use of our resources and our time is to develop this, the Nordblum site. And after many meetings, we feel like 40 hours, that's a good way to go. This is what we have to do in order to meet the 40-hour requirements.
I think we have to explain too, what is 40R?
Yeah.
What are the benefits? Why 40R? Why did we decide on that?
Okay.
Yeah, in looking through different possibilities for that site, you know, everybody's familiar with 40B, but there's also something that the state
Mhm.
has available to communities in this 40R, and has to do with access to transportation, and give you a little bit of history on what 40R is. In order for us to
And then we get
qualify,
money.
We get money, and also we're
I wanna
following
jump that too high.
we're not reinventing the wheel either, we're doing what other towns have done.
Right.
So we get into all of that, and then we need to show them what we're talking about. I'm just here for the maps.
Cool, I can do that, I can do that. Well, and then all these are pretty pictures about the design standards.
Yeah.
But people will want to hear that.
Yeah.
Because we want them to understand it isn't going to be these ugly, just block, that it's going to be a neighborhood and with trails and
Mhm.
la, 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 la.
Oh, gobbledygook, yeah. So we touch on that we're trying to build a self-contained community.
Right.
With
That's
some of the-
integrated with the current neighborhoods and,
and some amenities that could go there. You know, businesses want to go there, and show the different kinds of architecture we're talking about. Not just square boxes, big apartment buildings, okay?
right?
All right, we're still good. So I have all the faith that Myron will clean this all up.
And then Lauren, on this, are you gonna just take the pictures, you're gonna, where he's got pictures in there, you're just gonna use those as illustration, or are you gonna actually show those, the pages?
Well,
I wasn't quite sure what he was doing there with the pages.
I like what he did, you know, slide 15 and 16, well, slide 16 anyway, where this is, you know, this is one of the pages and this is the purpose of it. And then the next one was a random page, I guess, more architectural illustration.
Yeah, but I think I would just show the pictures. I wouldn't show,
The level of detail. the
Yeah.
verbiage.
I think I think the page with the callouts explaining how it's organized, how the design guidelines are organized is actually quite good.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that you only need one of those to
Yeah.
say to someone. And then I would, that and then a bullet pointed list of like, here are the design guidelines that we're gonna have. There's gonna be lighting, there's gonna be traffic, there's gonna be da-da-da-da-da.
which is what we have up on the
Yeah.
content
Yeah,
sheet.
but yeah. I do think that having the guiding principles, like and going into depth on those is probably a good idea. I don't think we need to go into depth on the individual design guidelines and what they cover and what they don't cover. We can just say
The
that.
types of lighting.
Yeah, like just say that there is a lighting
You don't
one,
need
there is a
that
traffic
much.
one.
We're gonna have enough problems with town meeting, we don't need to go argue with it, but that's.
But I do think the guiding principles are good and should be expanded.
Well, the good thing is too, that we already passed the design guidelines for the comment. So people have some awareness of what that entails.
I'd like to see a little bit more when it comes to slide 11, where it's a kind of a rendering of what could be.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the one on the left, it's very rough, but
That came from them, didn't it?
did that come from the Longs? Or did this come from Peter?
The problem with the slide on the right is they don't take into account the parking for the commuter rail.
Well, yeah, but that's easy enough.
Well, I get that.
I'd rather see half of the slide taken up with the drawing that's in the bottom
Mhm.
and get rid of the other one.
Because that's,
Personally, because we've already got that other slide, right?
Right, already got this one.
You know, I think the other thing we should mention is that remind people that the Longs own this property and that they have been very much involved. They're very much behind it. You know, it's not like somebody from out of town.
It's not Avalon coming in.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I know the select board knows that, but I think town people,
well, yeah, but that'll come out as we get going through the
Yeah.
public process.
it is a local developer. We can
Right,
always say something
right.
about it.
right?
So property owner, it's not for the discussion, but it'll be key who he decides to partner with for development.
Whether it's one home.
But also remember, people will also be listening to us.
So, yeah,
So,
nobody, so I like, so it says townhouses / cottages. So,
Yes, on the map.
that.
Yeah, and getting some, making sure I know what to tell MABC to do with these different areas will be very helpful.
We have townhouses now. That's what we're getting in our senior housing thing, which we, yes, we should have some, but we still need, the object of this was to try to satisfy everything all in one fell swoop here. We're gonna get apartments, so we're gonna get smaller units for people who don't wanna own a house, affordable, we're gonna be below 80%. But we also need to have some housing in here for seniors who wanna downsize, but still wanna live in a house.
Mhm.
Or first-time homebuyers who want a smaller unit that, you know. So that's why I'd rather see more housing than townhouses. We're gonna townhouse ourselves to death, I think. Those are the easy ones to do. The single-family housing in a large density is the tough one, and that's why we're giving them the apartments and everything else. It's a trade-off. You get smaller housing by allowing 330 apartments or 320 apartments to build in this. So I'd like to see.
but you could still have townhomes.
Yeah, you can have
you
both.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, where they could be narrow townhomes and still have a little backyard.
No, I agree,
Yeah.
but that's what we're getting now. That's what Weber's was. That's what, I want to see small, little 1,200 square foot.
Summer Village.
Like, Durkins. I mean, like, Walter's project there, Delaney. Hey, Scott, can I call you right back?
Right across from Russell
All right,
Street.
John.
Or down Russell Street.
Delaney, small, little 1,500 square foot.
Right,
house.
just like little cottages.
One story,
No, what you're looking for is basically another John's Meadow, that concept. I
but
mean,
more
those are,
affordable. With the density we're given, more affordable.
But townhomes in this,
Yeah, townhomes and single families together.
Right, so.
townhomes lend the developer more economic benefit. I mean, it's.
Well, how much more are you gonna, you're giving them 320 apartments that nobody else has ever got, so.
Yeah, if we do townhomes, row houses, we can get more density. So I don't know, it's kind of a.
and remember too,
Trade-off.
we're gonna be right near the train station, so that theoretically, we want to attract young professionals, but also, you know, just professionals who want to be near the train station. They could be older or,
We wanna try to catch all, with this one, we wanna get
Demographics.
all three, things that we're short of.
Right.
I just want more, wow, like I said, we're getting townhouses now, we're getting small little duplexes. We need more small single family homes.
Right, so if we have we'll have a mixed use area up
Yeah.
near Foster Street,
Yeah.
that goes, you know, towards the wetland crossing, make sure we keep it in front of that. Then we'll have the apartment section that's downslope and, maybe a little bigger than what's shown on this.
Well, we're not married to the map. It's like, remember when we first started out with this, we wanted canvas and the developer to come back and tell us the best places that these are going, and they're all gonna be driven by topography.
Right, but nobody's
Mhm.
ready to do final design yet, or
No, but,
any design yet, and they have to have it on a
well, I
map
agree with that, but these
in order
lines
to
aren't,
get through DHCD.
but these
Right.
lines aren't etched in stone, is my point.
But we have to set, right, we have to set something now
Right,
and allow the flexibility in the wording of the bylaw. But we do have to set something.
right, but my point is the apartments could slide further up the hill a little bit.
Mhm.
If you go back to that slide, go back to the slide that had them both.
And then the yellow is the,
Then you go, that one.
Mhm.
So if you look at that picture, those apartments are further up the hill. They're not, they're in the area where it's townhouse condos, more or less.
well, yeah, they're right
Right.
over here. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying.
So we have to have this,
Expand this apartment one somewhat,
right,
and then, the yellow one is the townhouses / cottages.
right.
I think the word cottage sounds better than small, single-family homes.
Okay.
Because, you know, you could, technically, you could have duplex cottages, you could have.
It just sounds cute and
Okay, that's good so far.
Yeah, okay.
what, we know we're gonna get pushback from
Well,
people,
not,
especially,
not now. This is just informational next.
but I'm kind of thinking out as well, because people are gonna be listening. And so are there some objections we can anticipate, just people thinking that we can address in this initial presentation?
Traffic.
Hmm?
Traffic is gonna be the big pushback,
Okay,
you know?
and the fact then that I guess emphasizing the trails and, walkability, bicycling, that we're gonna try and, we want people to stay off the roads. We want them to be,
Yeah, but they still have to drive to get there.
not if, well,
Well, if they work.
not if,
Oh, no, but I mean, you know, to go to Donald's, buy their food, there's gonna
Yes.
be increased traffic. on
yes, yes.
And the biggest complaint, people that are gonna be opposed to this are the residents on Boston Street. That's where all
Yeah.
your,
Yeah.
Opposition.
Okay,
that and the people that don't want apartments in town. They're gonna probably come out of
Great
the
champion.
because of the, they came up with the senior residential bylaw, because that was just a scam to put apartments in, that everyone said. So we're still probably gonna get a little bit of backlash on this one too.
mhm,
People are gonna say, we don't want apartments in town.
Well, but they picture the brick rectangles that are up
Right.
and down Great Road and Acton.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what Great Champion was talking about.
Right.
I just sent an email to you guys earlier today. I was in the phone and Chelmsford took a picture of two little apartment complexes that are right out the front of the building. And the architecture on one of them specifically with parking underneath. Nice colonial architecture.
Oh, yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
It's in your inbox.
Yeah.
I did send some pictures of it. But it just the way it's only a 3-story building, but the 4 stories underneath is parking.
and
It's
they're really nice.
They really are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree,
Nowadays,
I saw
all the
that,
stuff like that, with all the hardy planks. and paneling,
Exactly, so you get more stuff out of them.
Underneath.
yeah.
Mhm.
When is the sidewalk gonna be built along Foster Street?
It's in the tip for 2022, so,
Sounds right.
probably, maybe as soon as next construction season.
And is it just going to be a sidewalk, or will it also be accessible by cyclists?
It's a multi-use path, so it's a 10-foot wide off of the,
Okay,
10-foot, 8
Okay.
foot.
Yeah,
whatever
that's
is
the
wide.
200,000 from Amazon.
yeah,
Something like that, something there, that, okay.
Mhm. There it is.
Thanks, man.
yeah,
Yeah, so when you, which one, so the Commons is the one, that's right in the corner of, I think that's the one in the corner of Research Drive.
This,
But I've only got 2 pictures of the Commons, the other one,
see this? This is what I do.
very similar.
That's this, and I'm doing this in mine.
Yeah.
Hardy planks and the panels.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, brick on the bottom, hardy planks.
Yeah,
That's-
and it
that's-
looks very
A certain
unique.
level of detail,
Yeah.
Right.
colonial detail along the.
Yeah, that's nice,
Yeah, that's the one.
yeah,
That's what everyone's.
and there's one, yeah,
It's got some character. to it.
Right.
Architecture, architecture.
Yeah,
Right, and then-
It's not
but
just.
there is another one there that shows they literally have a driveway that goes down to a garage under. It's not even like open drive under. You have to have a
right.
opener.
Yeah.
to get in. Yeah. That's a clubhouse in the middle of the whole complex. And it's
Yeah.
not, I mean, the square footage that they have here is not much. It's like a loop. It's literally just a circle going on.
Yeah,
So just something a little bit different, like the one in Reading, although the sight lines were really nice, it was very modern. You know, it just didn't fit, in my opinion, it didn't fit with what we're trying to put in.
Well, we know from the surveys that this is what people want. So,
They want detail.
yeah, they want that kind of farmy,
New England, you call
Yeah.
it,
Okay. So getting back to our presentation, I think everything else is pretty good. I mean, first of all, this is for the selectmen, whoever else wants to walk in. This isn't the start of our procedure with the planning board. It's not
No.
opening up to public meetings.
This is a good introduction to it.
Well, it's a good introduction, but it's not,
okay, do we want to discuss or bring up at all TDR?
No.
Okay,
because TDR is not gonna work here.
Well, we're not,
well,
we're
but
not
we
gonna have
were,
anything ready for springtime meeting.
I'm just thinking about some of Cindy's comments.
But this has already got the most density we're gonna get.
Okay,
So,
all right, I'm just trying to think of things people have asked. Yeah,
I think it's good to think of it, but I think it convolutes this
Yeah, okay.
conversation.
okay.
So the other note that I sent to you was, we need a definition of what independent living is.
Right, but that's a separate bylaw, that's not.
Well, no, that's part of for this.
No,
What do you mean, no? We're gonna put independent living up here. What is independent living?
No, we're not gonna put independent.
Yeah, it is,
Oh,
and we're trying to get it up here in the purple. Up
So
and
you
down.
transitional, where people
Right.
just
Yeah.
migrate.
but we're not,
no, so
no,
we
that's
do
not,
the- right, we do the 40R district, I believe that's technically an overlay district. If somebody would rather use the senior residential development bylaw for the development, they could use that. And we have to clarify a couple issues with that.
Can you read what's in the purple? There's something in the purple.
Housing.
Housing service. Well, with adults, we're putting that little area right there.
We can't do that in the 40R,
Why not?
because it's
So
not
can we
one of
put
the defined,
independent living isn't defined in there?
so we'll have to decide what the purple should be.
If we want it to be part of the 40R,
Right,
if we even get a response from
Well,
the owner.
Okay.
I'm guessing we'll hear from them as soon as developers start reaching out to them saying, hey, can we buy a piece of your property? It's being rezoned and we would like to develop it.
I mean, the topography over there is tough.
Well, yeah, that's straight back.
Yeah. It's very talented. It's,
You can see it on the topos.
yeah.
One of the topos are there. And it's nice we put the dotted road in there in case we can ever get them to agree to put the road in.
For fire service and
For traffic, people try to get people to go down this way, come to us, and then get on Boston.
Yeah, I had the discussion about fire service with Scott and Tom, and they said they're not at all concerned about the height of apartment buildings. Those will be sprinklered, and they have other ways to get to the upper levels in order to do any rescues that are needed. So it's all about the visuals and about the traffic.
The only other question I have for fire service is if the garage is under, you know, if it's all the firewalls and sprinklers and all that kind of stuff, it's just that, you know, if you've got vehicles which have some sort of, even if it's electric vehicle, it's got something in there that's combustible. Yeah, that would be a concern, just to make sure that they're ready and able to respond to that.
So we're not gonna show this map, right? We're only gonna show the half of this map. We're not gonna put
Right.
The Boston Street
Right.
side.
The Boston Street, yeah, not to confuse it anymore, because it's in there. One of the bullet points in one of those talks about Taylor Street further up and all that other stuff. We're not gonna muddy this with that right now. This is 40 out right here, and then once it works, if we find out that it works and everything, we're gonna.
It's gonna be small lights. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It has to, no one will approve this if we
Right.
tell them that you're gonna put 6,000 apartments, or whatever number finally works out to. Okay. What else?
So what about this one, don't do it?
That one's fine, as long as it's
That one's got both.
No, I don't think we should have,
the terraces and then everything else between them,
Okay,
yeah, anything on this side of Route 2, I think we
get rid of. It just creates.
If
too
the
many
question comes up,
questions.
we could have that in like a hidden slide, and, where do you see this going in the future? Well, if we get this right.
We plan on exploring.
We're on the possibility of doing, doing something.
Further
Right.
across the street. Or into.
At the intersection of Foster and Taylor Street, where you have the opportunity to provide services for X, Y, and Z, Amazon and regional. And then this slide, this show doesn't focus yet on the 40R bylaw itself. Do you want to try to do an overview of that?
It's really like the nuts and bolts of it. I don't think people really are gonna pick that apart. They're gonna be interested in.
Yeah, we're gonna lose.
Well, they will have the opportunity to pick it apart.
So,
when we
like,
get
I
there.
think we mentioned the benefits of it. We looked at all the different options of using the different parcels in this village. And, the one that we saw as being kind of a low lying fruit was the North Bloom property. And in doing our research, it seemed that the Commonwealth allows communities to do this 40R project. Don't get afraid of it being a 40B project. It's very different. There's actually some pretty substantial benefits to the community in doing so, blah, blah, blah.
And not only that, but there's monies available for developments, low income development.
No, don't say that word.
For affordable development on the train lines. And we'll be looking at every option we can to get money for the state, for infrastructure.
Yeah, housing and economic development, DHCD are all supportive of these types of programs, and the governor's even.
It has signed the economic development bond bill that targets this type of development.
Exactly, yeah. So if people see it being something that's working on communities.
So I'll probably throw that back to you guys when we have our joint meeting on, how much have you guys looked into it and things like that,
Okay.
or where we're at on the radar for the state. Well, Joe will probably know better than anyone else.
He's been there, but I wish Jay Ash was still the secretary. He has such a good relationship.
I mean, Littleton's one of the only stops on the commuter rail that has undeveloped area around the train station, right?
Everything else is downtown.
Yeah.
Until you get out to Leominster and the ones way out there.
Pittsburgh,
Right.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, who cares? Life stops at Littleton.
It's not gonna fall through.
So, yeah.
Couple points we're not gonna have. Yeah.
I think we should talk about what are the next steps? It's going to the planning
Well,
board.
So we're gonna leave it at 20%, less than 80%.
No, I cannot recommend that. I would say right now, well, that's up to you guys.
Well, you gotta put a number in there. So do we wanna go at 25%, with 80% AMI, or do we wanna leave it at 20?
The minimum requirement for 40Rs is 20% affordability, or the state won't approve it. If we use the wording like, I don't understand why would the town approve anything less than 20, ask for anything less than 25%.
Okay.
Right now belongs argument back to us on why they can't do 25% affordability is because Nordblom can't make enough money. Nordblom's investors can't make enough money. It's like, I have problems with that.
Well, yeah, so yeah, I agree with you. That's kind of what Nate was saying. Yeah, Nate was saying on the call, right? That's not my heart leads way, but then I think we can give them a little bit by saying townhouses, are giving you the ability to do density, and that's, it's up to you. I mean, build a smart project.
Right. And then Joe reminded me that what Grafton did was 25% affordable requirement on the rental units and 20% on the for sale units.
So it gives us flexibility that we can.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an olive branch to them as well.
Mhm.
Okay. What else? Are we good for next live from next Friday?
Next Thursday.
Thursdays.
And so you decided we're good with Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody on the board can do it. Jerry was the only one that was questionable. So let me ask you, how many people can we fit in here?
6.
That's it?
Well, actually, after next Monday, what does it go to? It rolls to whatever phase 3 was, right? What was that number?
I thought it was, I didn't think they changed the capacity numbers. I think they just changed the hours. But maybe I didn't read the whole
I didn't,
thing.
either.
Yeah.
I'm making an assumption.
The only things I saw were the changes in the hours. So,
Well, the only thing I was thinking is maybe we should ask both boards to be classes if they could. That is. Would you
Well,
rather
we
still-
can't do everybody. But
That's what I'm saying. If it's 10, we could.
If it's 10, we could get both boards, 10 sitting members, but we wouldn't be able to have Mara and Joe.
I'm not gonna come into one of 3 of them. Like I can't be 2 face-to-face meetings. Like I have a diabetic kid. It's just not worth it.
Okay.
So I'll do Zoom, like whatever happens.
All right. It just makes it easy when everybody's.
It certainly does.
I
We're in a
agree,
different
but-
position right now.
Can we go into a larger room?
You could do the multi-purpose room, I guess.
Number's not much higher.
Yeah, and also there's no, like Zoom, there's no support for the LCT.
Yeah.
We could do police or fire. We could do the library at the high school. There are venues that we could use which would afford us the opportunity to all be in the same room.
All those you
Safety
want.
distance. Correct.
I'm just thinking it's easier for all together.
It is. I mean, deliberation is certainly a lot easier than it's almost like you have to raise your hand, even if you're on your own board. It's kind of speaking over each other. It's not as
It's not as conversational.
right.
Do you want to explore the option of maybe a room where the planning board and select board can be? Just as an option for next Thursday. And whoever wants to partake of it, then float it amongst us, both boards, to see who wants to do a public over
Yeah,
there.
because to Matthew's point, it's a hard stop, and I respect that.
Yeah.
Even though
Or if it's only gonna be 6 or 8 of us anyway, we could still use this one if everybody, a lot of people want to opt out, just do Zoom.
Mhm.
So before you beat yourself over the head, why don't you find out how many people would be up for a live meeting?
But can we get LCTV to do it instead of just this?
How hard was this? Right? This is LCTV right here, right?
Right.
it's recording, that's not live.
Well, no, I was just
This is
thinking about,
yes, they should be able to be running the Zoom instead of just me running from here.
that's what I meant, like audio is better with them,
Well,
which is the big thing.
right now, if anybody was calling in, you would hear them through the screen.
Yeah.
And they would do that.
Joe's set it up. Because I've been calling that one time, right? I'm not sure exactly how he did it, but he was there, he did like I don't know, auxiliary microphone or, again,
Wasn't Mark in the control room?
probably.
But just see if it's possible. I just think for this is pretty, it would make more sense for us to all be together so we can discuss it. All right, what else do we have going on? Are we good for?
On slide 12, can you just, you'd be able to edit this, right?
Mhm.
Just the word compliments. He spelled it correctly on another slide, but he spelled compliments on slide 12 incorrectly.
So do you want to have a slide where we outline the steps from the meeting on?
Wasn't that the?
Oh, timeline moving forward? Oh, yeah, so timeline moving forward, we're working with MAPC now on the application of the HCD. Meanwhile, the planning board will,
Start holding public hearing.
yeah, schedule, do we have a, Joe and
Sets
I,
expectations. I think that's probably a good idea.
right. So we need to get from Joe the deadline for town meeting warrant. Do you know if we've had that discussion yet? Is doing,
I don't think so.
or
no.
are we doing May town meeting and?
Yeah, we are,
What
but
is the
I don't think
The plan is
we haven't
to-
talked about schedule yet, have we? No.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much
Going to
dictated.
the outdoors, then with the lights.
Yeah, probably.
I think it was great, honestly, and, you know,
The rate.
not knowing where we're gonna be at, it's
Distribution,
it's, I think it'd be wise for us to plan on at least
Yeah.
town meeting to be out, I mean, the May town meeting to be outside.
Okay.
It just, I think we nailed it.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was effective.
It really was. Maybe it'll be the last one.
I don't know, I kind of like them outside.
Maybe every spring should be outside meeting.
The fall was such a pretty day.
I know.
Right?
No, when was it? Oh,
And fall was really pretty
Actually,
too.
October was-
Yeah.
We were fortunate.
Okay,
All right, so you're gonna do a brief, an outline, run it. Maybe send us copies of it, I'll take a look at it and see what I gotta do. Unless you wanna do it, Lisa, I don't wanna cut you out.
Is,
I seriously don't have the bandwidth right now, but I'll jump in, you know, but.
on this slide, I think I understand what he's trying to get at with these images, but I'm not crazy about the middle building there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It looks like crap. It's like all run down.
This is what we could have there.
Another building, I don't want that.
Yeah, I just,
Wait, is that the train depot there? Does all the garbage show up at the top?
No, that's the fire station and
And
the.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah, I mean, maybe we, I can't think of another building that would be.
we can't see the last building.
Lakes and ponds stuff.
Or like trails, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if Robinson Road and rehab, that's the historical splendor of the 1500s.
What is going on with that anyways? Oh, well. I'll shut up.
Yeah, hold on, listen,
Not
that's what's.
Oh, okay.
CBS up
Okay,
there.
so if we have the bandwidth to deal with Robinson Road, sell it with a deed restriction that requires 2 units, at least one of them to be sold as an affordable unit. We take a lower purchase price on it with that restriction on it, but then we get 2 small units. One is to be sold as affordable.
For Robinson Road?
Yeah.
So this is, you're proposing this as a
Wait, you
possibility.
take down the house?
No,
No.
you can't.
Oh, good.
No,
because
we
we
need a
allowed
house.
it to put a
Right.
historical deed restriction on it.
Ain't you guys paying for 250?
But,
You paid it.
so what would you do?
So you sell it to whoever's
It goes out to
interested in
bid.
buying
Right.
it
We open bids, someone buys it for $1.
Right,
to renovate it.
right.
And they can.
What do you think
put
they're
two
doing
units
now?
in
We're
it.
not thinking.
Okay, so turn it into a 2-family home.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Potentially. I think it could be so much more than that, to be honest with you. I really do. And I'd love to see us do something with, because that barn could be a black box theater and we could do cultural stuff. I don't know. I just.
Yeah, it's so
You know,
cool.
I mean, when the woman that owned Ken's barn.
Virginia.
Virginia,
Virginia.
when she did 529 Cafe with some of the artwork she had inside the
Mhm.
restaurant, it was awesome. And, you know, maybe you can do some wine tastings
Right.
and things like that with,
Yeah, that would be
I don't know, I
nice.
just, I think if we can somehow find some grants or something like that, that's some angel, maybe it's the Littleton project.
There you
To fund it.
go.
Let's get this thing open, eh?
You're preaching to the choir there, man.
But I think that something like that,
Well, maybe all that will happen when the sewer gets passed. No, the word when, not if. You know, then,
Yeah.
then that whole downtown
That's not
area.
really what's holding it. It's holding that, it's the money you need to renovate.
No, I know, but just when all of a sudden there's focus more on the common area and all the beautiful things that can be done there,
Mhm.
somebody will see that house for what it really could be.
I was in Millis and Medway driving through yesterday and some of the renovations that they've done,
Yeah.
their public library is right on 109. It's their police station and they've got a little strip mall. And it's done very tastefully.
Yeah.
It's a little too modern for my liking, but they really did a nice job of repurposing that entire downtown area. In Westwood, the Islington side of Westwood, which is close to the train tracks. they just did the same thing, where they just totally repurposed, which is what the bank wants to do. You know,
When do you think they'll start on
they
anything?
won't do anything until.
They're gonna come before us.
Yeah,
They're gonna come on the new plan, and look at on the Robinson Road, which hopefully sooner rather than.
yeah, 25 Robinson Road is a hang up for them in the sewer, certainly. I mean, right now, there's nobody busted at the seams to rent retail space,
No.
so they're
They're,
probably better off.
they're checking a lot of that.
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
So I'll update this and send it back out.
I'll take a look and we'll get on next Thursday,
Yep, Thursday night, we'll figure out if we're
live or.
partially here and partially out.
Great.
Mark, thank you for taking it on. I really appreciate it. No, I'm dead serious. I really do appreciate it.
In a perfect world, you should drop it off, and you should start it
I know.
at the planning board. Yeah, I remember that. I'll take
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, you are correct. I'm doing exactly that.
Okay.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's all right. But I get the big money for it.
Yeah, but anything but the perfect world.
Me and Ed went to 153 Dallas this morning. Well, I would say yesterday, but just start. Today they're going big time. They got all the heavy equipment there. They're taking everything out. Taking out everything that's not nailed down.
At Amazon?
They all got it building now.
So what are they said that there was a bunch of office.
Yeah, is
stuff.
anybody
Did you
taking
get a-
anything?
Get a bite at it? Is there anything worth it?
Well, that's what we want. We try to get a desk. There's a beautiful desk for right here, but it's too big. It's like 20 feet long
Matthew,
by about
you
10
should
feet
call
wide. Yeah, I'll show you the
Christine.
picture.
So how do we get in there to check it out?
It's, you have to, it's getting a little late to process because, probably by Monday, what do you need it for?
Well, Christine's trying to, outfit the shop on the cheap. So like, we're scrounging stuff. If there's a 20-foot wide desk, that sounds great.
But there's no way you're gonna put it in a retail establishment. Let me show you.
It's just too big.
Yeah, here it is.
20 foot. That's huge. What the heck would
Is it like
It's a
a,
conference table.
It's a conference
it's a
table.
concrete, it's like
Oh,
a,
God.
Wouldn't that be
And
perfect?
it's 10 feet wide. Too.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's 10 feet wide. It'd be perfect in here.
For what?
To hold your meetings rather than use cardboard cables. It's just too big. It's just.
Oh, yeah.
Put it here,
Um,
will put us on the map.
Yeah, but is there anything else in there that's worthwhile?
File
File
cabinets?
cabinets, tables, chairs.
That'd be.
Problem is
good
gonna
for
probably never
back
let anybody in after today, because it's getting, they're starting to rip stuff down, rip ceilings down, so.
as far as
You
the,
guys got a lot of stuff out
We
of
did.
it.
the other building, we did, yeah.
Ed said everything up to the third floor, it all came from that building about a month ago.
Yeah, the walls, partitions.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool, good, okay.
There's still
We
tons
did
of that
benefit, we definitely did benefit.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Um,
still tons of it.
So totally spitballing, they weren't even officially, do we ever open?
Oh, yeah.
Just talking about big conference tables and how we sit around the table here,